Hello, my name is Doris and I am Little Bird Products. Welcome back if you've been here before, and if this is your first time here, welcome, and please subscribe so that you get notified every time I post a new recording. Today is my midweek update, the last one for 2025. And I wanted to chat just a little bit about what my focus has been, the last couple of weeks. I have been making bags like these. They're framed bags, and some of them have a short chain strap on them, and some of them, like this one, have a little longer strap. This is my chicken and egg series. And I've been having some fun because I unearthed some purse frames that I bought. I'm ashamed to say I bought them 10 years ago. And I did a few bags back then. I was doing more bags and aprons at that point in time. And as I've been going through and destashing some of my things as one of the goals for this year, I've unearthed those, and I've decided to go back into bag making a little bit, the purses, because they're a little retro and some of that's back in, and they've been really fun for me to make. And as some of you might know, moving into January, what I try to do is my show year is over. So I try to get back and give myself a month. January is usually the month where I do what I call my give back. I usually take on, a new protege or do some work with my current proteges. Those are people I've been helping, set up their own businesses for crafting and introducing them to Etsy. And I also use January as a planning month and also a fun month for me. I give myself permission just to do things that I think are fun, to test out some new product ideas, and also to use it as a planning month to plan for the whole next year. So I've been prepping for some of that, and part of that planning work is looking back at what my goals were for 2025, what I've accomplished, what I've sort of accomplished or half done, and do I want to continue to finish it for the next year, those kind of things. What I wanted to take a few moments to talk about my planning. I made a few notes here. My goals are for the whole year and for me, and I usually set a physical goal. This year, I started doing yoga in a yoga class to help with my strength in recovering from hip replacement. And I'm happy to say that I've accomplished that. I'm walking without a cane. I've gotten rid of my cane. I only use it when I'm going to be walking for several hours. That's shopping with my daughter like I did last week, which was really fun because I don't do that often. I also give myself a mental goal. That's what am I going to do for the year that gives me joy? That's important for me. I think it's important for everyone, no matter what your age is. So I do that. And I also have a goal, a learning goal. I want to try something new. I want to learn something new. We're never too old, to learn things. I try to learn something new every month, but I usually have a main goal, something new that I want to do that's a learning experience. And then I also have a work goal. I call it work, Little Bird Products. It's also part of my fun. So what am I going to do? And in association with that, under that work goal, I have what new products do I want to try out? Do I want to test? What shows do I want to do for the year? What new things do I want to do on Etsy? Because that's my primary selling platform now as I'm doing fewer shows. I'll probably always do some shows because I enjoy those, and it's an opportunity to face-to-face meet my customers and hear about their excitement about my new products, or, should I do fewer of the new product and more of the same product, those kind of things. That also is part of what brings me joy. And then I have a social media goal. This year it was to really improve my presence on YouTube, and I feel like I've done that. I had a goal to get 1,000 subscribers, and I'm almost at 900 now, and it's like I really need to get that other 100, and I only have today to do it. So I've come such a long way, and I hope to have some new content. I'll work on some goals for YouTube, and I'd really appreciate feedback from you for what you'd like to see me do more of and do less of. I like the rhythm that I've established with my goal for the week coming on Sunday and a recap of what I got done, and then Wednesdays is the check-in, and that's really as much for me as it is for you, because it keeps me on target to say, okay, am I really getting done what I need to finish for the week? And that's, kind of what this is. It's my blathering or my vlog, but I call it my blathering for the day. And then also, I have some goals for the next 10 years in terms of destashing. I've done a lot of accumulating of things, over the years. Part of things that bring me joy is thrifting and looking for new products. But, heaven knows I have enough things that till the end of my days I could keep making and upcycling. So I do have some downsizing that I did do this year. Some things that I know I'm not going to use anymore. That's a part of my, January focus is teaching other people how to do things, and then I send them home with stuff. And I think that's important too, because then they don't have to thrift as much. So that's been, really fun for me. And in anticipation of setting new goals, I also got a new book. And I haven't had a chance to do anything but just rifle through it. I know you're seeing this backwards here, but it's a book. It's called Making Happy Things, and it's by Sue-Ching, Lascelles, and the title says there's 20 plus joyful and sustainable sewing products. So that's going to be fun, I think, for me. And she has some patterns in here and some other things, and I think it's going to be, a fun read, and it might give me some new ideas, I'm hoping, for things to do for next year. I don't read as much anymore. I tend to want to do active things as opposed to just sitting and reading. But this looks like it's going to be a fun read and give me some projects to work on. The other thing that I do is I love new things. And I'm not much on hard copy stuff. I'm more of a computer person. I like to have everything on my iPad and my laptop. But I do buy a hard copy of a calendar and project lists for the year. And I start out, when I do my goals, I record them in here. And then one of the other things that I do is I look back at my, I call this a day timer, or my goal keeping. This was the 2025 one. And I'm getting down to the end. I have been pretty disciplined all year until it got to show months, and then I get kind of busy, and you can see what a good job I've done of filling everything in for the goals for the day. So what I do is the beginning of the week, I put in, what I want to get done, and then each day I put in what I did. I've done almost nothing for December. I did do pretty good. This is what November's looks like. I have chicken scratching all over. So that helps me keep on target. I'm finding that part of my happiness is I have to be busy all the time. And busy is often, solitary things. I do enjoy making and sewing, and I'm finding that I am enjoying doing YouTube and sharing what I do with all of you. So I hope that some of your joy is looking at what I'm working on and what I'm doing. And I will put some pictures at the end of the things that I have been working on this week. And I still have some more of my framed bags that I want to get made before the end of the week and get those in my Etsy store. So if you want to see what those are looking like and how I'm doing that. One of the other goals that I had for this year, for 2025, was to find some things that I could make that took less expensive materials or materials I already had and took less time, that I could sell in my store for, $50 and under price point. And I did that with my denim and canvas shirts, and those were accepted pretty well, and they sold well for me. And I will continue to make those. And, my purses, I'm selling those for $59 right now, and I am going to make more of my little snappy bags. I'm going to get back to that, and I still have some frames, about a dozen frames for these. And then I'll have some material left over, some of my scraps. And as you know, I never throw anything away from a scrap. I shouldn't say anything. I do if it's really small, too small to do anything with. But I do combine some of them together and make these little snappy bags. And those I will be likely putting in my frame purses when I sell one as a little gift, because I think that's, just a nice gesture. So, and those will be selling at $59 to $49. So it's that price point where I think it's affordable, and I think it's one size fits all, and it's something that you can gift or use yourself. So I'm trying to do some of that as a focus. And those things, I have to already have the materials. There's some kind of rules I've set for myself around it. They have to be relatively easy to make. And I like to get them to where I can make 4 or 5 of them a day. And that makes it a productive thing so that it's affordable and sustainable and something where I still make a little money on it, but I can sell them at a lower price point. So I'd love to have your feedback on any of that. And if there are things, if you look at my store, Little Word Products at ET, that's on Etsy, there's a link in the comments in the description for the video for that. And if you think there's something that I should make more of or make less of, I really appreciate your comments, because I see you as my customers, my potential customers, and having that feedback is important, because in the coming years I will be paring back more and more how many shows I do. I'm already down to where I think I only did 5 this last year, and I'm probably going to, for 2026, go down to 4 shows. And my rule for those for this next year is to only do shows that, number one, where I like the promoter. That's important for me, because they're the ones that give you placement and they support you as a vendor. And they have to be relatively local enough that I can drive to them and home in the dark from them, because I don't drive as much anymore, and definitely not at night, because I'm not at my best after 5 o'clock. And also it's getting more and more difficult to see in the dark to drive, and I want to be safe, and ones that I can set up myself. And with having done my physical goal, which I continue to do yoga twice a week at my yoga class, that's helped my strength so much that I had no problem setting up my shows this year. I did have help for a couple of the big ones, and that was very nice, and I really appreciate all the help I get from my friends and family. But I do need to, as I get a little older, watch my physical goals, have things that challenge me, but still keep me healthy and not be injured. So this next year, I have in my mind the shows lined up that I want to do. I start in September. My first show is normally always the Ladies Club Shop Till You Drop in September, and that's local. And I love it. It's just a one-day show. One-day shows, they're easier for some people, for some reasons for me, but they're also more difficult. So anyway, I tend to not do as many one-day shows. I like a 2-day show. 3-day show is almost too long. So I'm not going to be doing any 3-day shows. And I like the little church shows. I have a couple of church-sponsored shows that I do, and that's fun. And I have a customer base where they like to see me there every year, and they come back, and they support us as vendors really well. So I have in my mind the 4 shows I'm going to do for this next year. Doesn't mean I might not add another small one in between, but it would have to be really small. So I think that's everything. I will give you an update on Sunday, hopefully on Sunday, and talk about the goals that I want to set for 2026 and what I'm thinking about for my physical, my mental, my learning, and my work goals, and run those by you and see if you think I need to adjust them or add some more. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for all your support this year. I really do appreciate it. And if you could invite your friends and family to subscribe so I can get my subscribers up to that, 1,000 goal. And I'm almost at 900, I'm happy to say. So that really does help me a lot. And it helps keep me motivated too. Your comments are much, much appreciated. So thank you all. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you back here on Sunday.